E3's coming back.
Yes.
They announced it. It's happening. Woo.
Good.
And you're excited, Chip. You love E3. Nothing can defeat E3 in your eyes. I know you get emotional about it when people talk about it.
No, I think it just adds a level of excitement that's missing when it's not there, right? Like it's.
But also Jeff Keighley left the E3 production.
He left it.
Yes.
What do you mean?
That took away some of the excitement as well.
I guess. I mean, did that go over well this year? I don't feel like that really hit.
Summer of Keighley?
This year. The Summer of Keighley, it's over? Is it still going?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
If it's still hot out, I feel like it's still the Summer of Keighley.
I mean, there's still so much / little going on, I feel like, generally speaking.
Right.
I think we're still in a COVID world.
I think you're right.
And that's part of the problem. You know, that thing that we pretend it doesn't exist anymore, but totally does.
The amazing thing is, like, we're still seeing games like, what is it, Skull and Bones or Skull and Crossbones or whatever, like
Skull and Bones.
that we've played. We've played these games at E3
so long ago. That was so long ago.
And there's still there's still these games that are still in development. And that's the interesting thing about E3 is like you get to play and see these games like in various states. Like for some can be like, oh, this is coming out next week. And other ones are like, oh, you're not going to see this ever, or it's going to be like 5 years from now.
Right. And just imagine they've been working on it all this time, spending all this money. Like maybe they had to start over. You have to wait till Jason's book comes out usually to find out the story. But
yeah,
so is that game still is Skull and Bones still like the same type of game that it was? Like
it's pirates,
pirate boats specifically. Yeah. All right. I like that.
No, I'm yeah, of course I'm glad to see. I think I don't know why somebody would be upset that E3 says, hey, we're gonna be back next year.
Well, if you make your living doing online presentations, then you might be a little upset.
Sure. This is being done by ReadPop now, though. So they hired a.
Oh, for real? Oh, yeah. I did not know that. Interesting.
I didn't know that either. That is very interesting.
So they're partnering with ReadPop to run the convention, but it's not a open to the public type thing. Still, it's still a press, industry, influencers type environment.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know if ReadPop is good or bad. I just know that that's what they do for a living. So it's probably
can't hurt. Right?
Can't hurt.
It's a good idea. I'll say that. It's good to have.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have a pedigree of what do they have? A pedigree of Penny Arcade. And
I assume it's going to be in. Is it going to be in June? Is it
June? The second week in June is they've already announced that.
Yeah, that stinks.
Why? That's what happens in June. It's ad time.
It's my busy. We have assuming I still am working. Knock on stuff. Yeah, we have a company vacation freeze for the month of June.
What?
Yeah, it's the only month we're not allowed to take days off is June, unless it's like an emergency or something. Yeah, obviously they're not like monsters.
Emergency 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta see Skull and Bones again. I gotta see Skull and Bones again.
My grandma's sick in LA.
Right.
But your grandmother lived with your parents. No, she lives in LA now. She's a movie star.
Right.
I'm interested to learn more, and there's part of me that's like, so ReadPop's running this thing. Boy, I hope that stays that way. Like, I just, there's like a part of me that's like, oh boy, if they get like going down this path and then ReadPop pulls out because
some shenanigans, you mean?
Because ESA seems like everybody seems to have problems with them, right? And then being able to be organized and run things.
You think that ESA is not going to let ReadPop just take full control? They're gonna.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. That's just like, I hope not. It's just something that's like in the back of my mind of
that
like
they could drop out like in January.
Right. Like if they don't have this thing like locked in, because ReadPop, they're going to want to like say like, this is how you do stuff. Right.
Right.
Like,
of course.
In order to run this, we need to do these things. And if there's some kind of like hesitation or pushback.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully it all works out.
I'm sure the Penny Arcade guys told them what to do. I'm sure they listened. Don't you think? I'm sure they're used to taking direction for some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort. their name is on it. Should get some say. Anyway, anything else we need to talk about? I feel like we talked a lot.
We don't have to do anything you don't want to.
No, I'm asking you questions here, is what I'm asking.
I mean, we could talk about the BMW nonsense because people are blaming video games for it.
I'm not convinced. Like, I don't think that's going to happen in America.
I don't think it'll happen in America either. For those who don't know, in other countries, BMW is now charging a monthly subscription service for heated seats in their cars. Now, the hardware for the heated seats is already in the car, but the software in the car will block the heated seats from actually working unless you pay them $18 a month or $180 a year.
My guess is that these are for the cars that they just buy for the lot, like not that the ones that the customers are ordering.
No, these are the ones people are buying. These are in the cars. And, basically it's...
you know what I'm saying? Like, the dealers will order cars just for the lot, and then customers will buy them off the lot. But also customers will say, hey, I want this car with all these features and this color and the seats, to have this whatever. I would seem like pretty weird if you couldn't have the option of just buying the heated seats. Like, I don't know if that's
for $180 a year.
There is a buyout fee, but it's part of that subscription thing. So it's not like when you buy the car, you have the heated seats. You'll buy the car, go home, get online.
Well, we won't because we live in this country.
Well, you know what I mean. And then it's like $1,000 for lifetime, of heated seats.
Well, that's probably what they cost anyway for a BMW.
Well, if you're leasing the car,
right,
for say 3 years,
work it out. Yeah, whatever.
Then
this is a first world problem.
Yeah, I know. It's
very interesting. It's an interesting supply chain in manufacturing.
I also saw people say, like, let's say you lived in New York and you had a BMW. You don't need heated seats from April through November, really.
You don't need them at all.
I see how this business-wise came to be on this one, because if you can build and source the same thing over and over again, then it makes it easier for your supply chain and manufacturing to just pump out the same seats,
the heated seat.
Yeah. And so if you're doing that at all times and that option is not going to, like you're saying, Wombat, like not being used all the time in New York, then they've tried to counter those costs by passing it along to the whales that will pay for these, right? Like, so they put it in there as somewhat of either a break even or not, or loss, like on the whole. And this is how they make their money back on it, by making it easier for them to manufacture and source up front.
Right.
I get it too. And again, it's a very video game-esque thing, which is why I brought it up to begin with.
I think it's only video game-esque in that people just equate monthly fees and subscriptions.
Right. The reasoning behind it is different.
The question is,
games.
It also is, do you think at some point you'll see a used car dealership that's selling jailbroken BMWs? Like a phone. Like everything's unlocked.
They're going to be sued.
Anyway,
I think it's not going to, I don't know. It seems, I don't know. Hopefully the supply chain.
I think this is an experiment that BMW is able to have. I don't think this is them dipping their toes in here to see if it makes sense.
I don't know. I know
financially to do this long term, to just build all the cars with all the features
in more important markets.
Right, but you build the same model car over and over again, right? You're not
like heated seats should be standard on a BMW. It was probably standard on the BMW all before. That's what I'm wondering.
It could be.
Yeah, and because I have a Ford EcoSport and that thing has heated seats. I would be shocked if a BMW didn't. So I don't think there was a non-heated seat option prior to this. And now they're saying, well, this thing that we've always had that's already built in. Now you can't. Now you can't access it unless you pay. And as Darkness mentioned in the chat, Apple CarPlay, they're charging for that now too. It's also part of this micro transaction model.
I think they stopped doing that though, because the blowback
all these things
was bad.
that were standard in a 2020 BMW are now locked behind a paywall.
Yeah, but the thought there is that
Wombat crosses BMW off the list.
Yeah, off the list. The thought there, I mean, it's a hardware cost versus software cost analysis they're doing so that they can bring down theoretically, right? I don't know their numbers, but it's theoretically they can bring down and cut their margins on the hardware and make it back up on the software side. Is what, so they can sell you a BMW for
get away with it.
Correct. They can sell you the BMW cheaper to get you into their ecosystem so that they can then make the money back on the subscriptions.
Assuming
and then they can give you
that
the
they
BMW at the lower than the competitor's cost of just buying the car, right?
Assuming that they're selling a BMW cheaper, or is it still the same? Because it's still a BMW. Those aren't cheap cars.
Well, no, I didn't say it was a cheap car. I'm saying they're trying to counteract their
who are they
hardware
undercutting?
costs.
Who becomes the competition then? Is the competition
Mercedes?
And if Mercedes isn't doing this and the cars are the same cost, and you can get, then I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly.
I'm not saying this is I'm not pro, like, yeah, they should definitely be this. I'm just saying
you're always so
the
pro corporation.
It's not. I just have interest in how that stuff works, right? Like,
sure.
I'm interested too. I think it's interesting too. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull. Well, they're not even trying it in the United States yet, which I think says a lot.
Where are they trying this at? Because I mean, it's all regional.
I think it's mostly just in Europe, but
okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Can't wait.
That was interesting. Now we can go.
Right. Yes. We needed to have that conversation about BMWs.
I thought so.
It affects a lot of our listeners. And
as a guy who drives a Ford EcoSport, these things are important.
Exactly. I saw a Ford EcoSport on the highway the other day.
I've been seeing more and more of them, which is weird because they don't make them anymore. I wonder if, now, the word is out. They're going to be like, oh, we need to make more.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, but
right. I was like, what is that thing? Oh, Ford EcoSport.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of shape is that exactly?
I never saw a turd with wheels on it before.
No. It was brown though. All right, let's say goodbye and farewell.